So brilliant. So then, and obviously it gives you a chance to talk about Chelsea Arsenal. I'm sure you got some things to get off your chest.
I can say it. You know?
I can't believe Abdul's actually ducked that, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotta get onto him, man. Seriously.
No, you know what? I hear it because it's like it was such a big game, and it's just like, yeah, someone's gonna win at the end.
No, because you guys been building this up for weeks
I know.
talking about this one. So
I
I thought,
know.
we'd have the whole gang here, but
Yeah.
okay, well, it's not happening this time, but I
Yeah.
guess you guys are stuck with me as the hosts for once. Yeah. So finally, I'm actually making my hosting debut. Some of you don't know, I'm also a contributor to this podcast as well. Usually, Abdul's always on a flawless job hosting for us, but he does miss out. So just a little small injury. Hope he's not out for the long term.
Yeah,
I'm
not sure if it's related to what happened yesterday, but we'll get to that. We'll get.
Well, yeah, so obviously joined by you, Alvin. It's great to have you on the pod, man. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. Obviously, always a pleasure to be here, and I feel like we've had a plethora of games to go through.
Oh my
a lot
goodness.
of roller coaster of emotions, I can imagine. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, very excited to continue.
Indeed. So, and as you just said, so many games. Obviously, most of the midweek games have now gone. At the time of recording, just Manchester United have to play their game tonight. That game hasn't begun, to be honest. And I'm not sure if it would have begun by the time we actually wrap up recording. But they'll be playing West Ham tonight at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
But we'll try and speak about the games that we have been able to watch. There's been so many.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, gotta cover what's in your Shin Pad for this week, because I have a feeling you got something to talk about, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Okay. So I think I've got a pair of keys. So these are my house keys, right?
Right.
Now, I know you're probably thinking it's about, pocketing someone and whatnot. It's not exactly that.
Okay.
I gotta give this to Arteta, because I think he's got the keys to us winning the league. I think you know what? This season has proved like he has faced all the obstacles head on, and he's come across on the other side as a victor. Like, I think we've been plagued with injuries, nothing new, obviously, for Arsenal, but I think the squad depth he's built, and I think the team itself, I feel like he's built it's like a family. And I feel like when I see all these players, play together, the way they interact with each other, even the people that are not necessarily in the first team, he's built such a nice culture in the team, and I feel like that's the foundation you need if you want to carry your team to the title. Obviously, Pep's done so. Klopp obviously was famous for doing so with Liverpool when he was there, but I think he's definitely got the keys, more than ever. I feel like now, it's only up to him to not win it at this point. I feel like I know City are coming close. You've also got Sunderland, a big dark horse as well, but I feel like, yeah, he's definitely got the keys, and I can definitely hand them over to him. Here you go, Arteta.
It's funny because, I'm going to have to join in with the Arsenal Glaze just this one time.
Yeah.
With Arteta, one thing I've always said about him is, if not just for the main category of which you judge a manager of a top club for winning trophy, if not for that, honestly, you cannot, I think, whether you're a rival fan, Arsenal fan, you have to give credit where it is due. Where he took over Arsenal and then the struggle of those first 3 seasons, I got to give the Conquerors some credit. They stuck by him. A lot of different circumstances. You see managers with those 3 successive seasons not able to break into Champions League. Not a lot of signings, being a bit hit and miss during that era as well. But what he was building up with those younger talents, especially let's say Bukayo Saka, for example, the ways that he's nurtured him into becoming a professional, it just seemed like the signs were there, and then you see how he's elevated so many players now, and then Arsenal potentially a 4th consecutive title race you guys will be in. And it's not something that, regardless of how the previous ones have gone, it's not something that I think should be taken for granted.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Despite the fact that people always say winning is what matters, and I think this could really be the year for Arsenal. And I think actually, at least for once, it should be the year. You can't say Liverpool or City are as good as Arsenal this year.
That's true.
I think people have gone on to Arsenal for being involved and not winning. But this one is different, where I think most people, whether they want to admit it, they have to.
Yeah.
It's Arsenal's to lose.
Yeah.
And as Arsenal fan, I got to ask you, are you not even the tiniest bit worried of seeing fractured? Because those fractures tend to pop up not in the first half of the season for Arsenal, usually the second half.
Yeah.
So is there anything that's making you wonder, could we get through any unforeseen circumstances. You already got quite a few injuries piling up in defense already, and that's usually your strong suit.
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually remember seeing a tweet saying like recall Kyrgios from his loan. Like at this point, we need all the bodies you can to actually go to war. But no, honestly, I was a fan of Kyrgios. I think he was perfect as a backup to Gabriel for those few stretches of games he played last season. But obviously, I think he's still young. He wanted more playing time, so who are we to hold him back? But I think compared to this time last season, I think I already accept that Liverpool probably going to win the league. I think when you played us at the Emirates. And I think after, just signing Marino and Calafiori for the whole window, when I know Havertz, I have my reservations about Havertz, but I think this season I'm definitely more confident. I do understand, obviously, Muscari went down, Rice came off as well, and we'll get into that with the game later, but I think we do have the bodies to, almost like for like, in terms of replacements, to actually carry us towards that title. They probably need more like game time, whether that's like Carabao Cup or whatnot, to actually assimilate more of each other's chemistry and playing style. I know they already do so in training anyway, but I think just to kind of increase those bonds, increase the morale. But yeah, I mean, if I do have any worries or doubts, they're very minuscule. I'd say very minuscule. I feel like it's funny because I'm usually so like heart on my sleeve with Arsenal. I mean, I still am, but it's just like that's when things go downhill. It's just like, can I really do this again another year? But I feel like, surely I'm confident. I'm confident for sure.
Well, we'll definitely see how that one goes on. Fortunately, Abdul is not here to give us what's his on Shin Pad this week, so we'll just have to wait till next week when we record. But for myself, I brought an Adidas golf cap. I don't know why I couldn't get any Adidas clothes. I thought it probably would illustrate my point a bit better, but I'm wearing this Adidas because it's the first season of Liverpool's partnership with Adidas. I feel like we've released the coldest kit we've had in donkeys of years. And for some reason, it's just recently dawned on me that this season's amazing, and actually not even just our home kit, like the whole trilogy of kits that we've got this season, I've been so impressed with. Like I've not been impressed with this kind of lineup for Liverpool bunch of kits in so long, but it's going to be synonymous with us being absolutely garbage. And I just think, wow, our best kits in what feels like a millennia, we are playing absolutely awful football. Honestly, awful. And it's crazy, because now, I hate to get on camera and say this, but now I'm not a slot-in person, let's just say. Let's just say. I'm not a slot-in person, man, because I'm seeing the same rubbish. I was having a conversation with my brother earlier today, just saying, like, Liverpool have not just been poor this season, man. I'm telling you, man, ever since that Carabao Cup final against Newcastle, the team not been at it. The team's not been at it. And I hate to single out guys who have been great for Liverpool over a number of years, but, someone like Mo Salah, last 10 games of last season, he's chasing the big records. 2 GNA in the last 10 games of the season. Bro. And you know what? Yeah, and Abdul as well. Always saying about Salah being a GS scammer. I'm like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You're just salty about Hazard. But truly, it's like, Salah he's given a lot of Liverpool fans no choice but to kind of realize, bro, he does not influence the game as much as we kind of maybe were giving him credit for outside of GNA.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. And for me, I think he's got a great part of his game, like creativity and stuff, but I just noticed, like, when things are not clicking for him, like, bro, you don't really see that.
Yeah.
You don't actually. And I'll be honest, man, it's a shame because, we're putting these huge signings, bunch of different guys getting new numbers, stuff like the number 7 changing, the number 9 changing, getting huge statement signings. And to think, on paper, everything seemed amazing. Like, if you could just take me back to the summer, just keep doing that preseason loop all on again and again and again. Because the actual season has really been awful. And I don't know what to expect of Liverpool this season, to be honest. But January window coming up, we're officially less than a month away from that. So I got to see, because it's going to be make or break for a bunch of clubs.
For sure. I remember, like, when that Isak signing got confirmed, I was thinking, there again, he's gonna do it again. Slot. I genuinely thought, like, you bought all the puzzle pieces, you got the striker you needed, obviously more creativity in the midfield as well, and I thought, and then obviously another top striker, obviously in Ekitike as well. Like, I think he's so quality as well. I do think maybe trying to double him with Isak probably led to the problems, because I guess there's an imbalance in the squad. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see. I think maybe they just need more time together. But yeah, I think it's interesting as a Liverpool fan to see the perspective there. And just the one thing about Salah before we move on, I remember like seeing a stat, I think on FPL. Apparently, this is like the season the season he's been the least owned by owners in FPL teams since I think his first season back in the Prem.
I can't say I'm surprised, but still, and he still has quite a high ownership anyway.
Yeah,
well.
It goes to show like he was a staple. I remember in my teams, like from like this 2016 onwards, I was thinking, like I need Salah on my team. He's always got, he's gonna bring something to the team, but it just goes to show like he's kind of. I don't know if he's dropped off. I don't know if it's just a formation thing, but it's a very interesting stat I saw, and just made me think.
I really don't know, man. I think for me, it's so hard because I don't think this is the reason, but I'm gonna point this out as being an indicator. In and around when he signed his new contract, is when the form was really starting to dip. But even I would argue before that he'd actually have games where he's actually not playing that great, but he still gets the GNA anyway.
Yeah.
But then from around about there, you're getting less of the GNA and less of those match-winning, decisive performances. And I think with Mo Salah, for me, he's been deserving the contract that he signed last summer. He deserved that kind of money ages ago. So I'm not someone who I'm looking at it like, oh my gosh, what happened here, whatever. To me, he deserved that money time ago. So if he's getting it now, I'm glad for him. But, and I do feel like he gets singled out, but sometimes I'm like, well, you're the joint top earner in the club. There's no scenario where you don't get singled out, unfortunately. And he's the main guy, There's no more Mane neck and neck or Firmino part of a trio. He's the guy, Guys come in to help complement him. But right now, he looks out of place in this Liverpool team. I don't think this is the end of myself. I've seen people write him off so many times, so I just couldn't write him off myself. But but definitely things he's got to look in the mirror because being dropped for the last couple of games recently, that's something, I think 2 games in a row now that's happened. That's never happened in his Liverpool career. But we'll talk about Liverpool in due time, unfortunately. We're going to focus on the Big Six, and the biggest game of the Big Six was a 9-goal thriller. Fulham 4, Manchester City 5 at the Craven Cottage. Insane. Games like that where, a London-based team are just having an absolutely thrilling game. I would just think to myself, if I just had the know-how to just try and salvage a ticket. Like, I was just thinking like, a game like that happening, like with this proper roller coaster game. I don't know, if you managed to catch it. What did you think about it?
I thought like that's like quality Prem football for sure. I think I love an end-to-end, like no one's safe sort of game. I think a few weeks ago when you spoke at the podcast, I think when Fulham were playing, I think it was Bournemouth at home. And even though they lost, I remember I made a comment saying like Fulham would not sit back whatsoever. They will still go at it no matter what. And I feel like this game was a perfect description of that. Against Prem champions, or former Prem champions, I feel like they were quality. I think they were unlucky to not get the win, or even to get a point. But I think that's probably my favorite game of the game week for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Landslide.
It was crazy. It was crazy, and to just recap what went through the game. So Haaland had a really early chance where he hit the inside of the post. A player of his striking ability, probably 8 or 9 out of 10 times that goes in as well.
Yeah.
But he was already waiting a game longer than we probably expected for him to reach his 100th Premier League goal. But he managed to get in this game. Yeah. Brilliant Doku assist. Just really rapid ball cross goal. Smacked it first time shot. Literally. And he's the quickest player to reach 100 Premier League goals in history of the league. He's done it in 111 games. and still 20 odd more than the likes of Shearer, Henry, the Agueros, the Salahs, way more than all of these players, like 20 games quicker than all the likes of these players as well that make up the rest of that list. And it was absolutely unreal finish from him.
It was almost robotic. Like the ball literally came to him. It's almost like he programmed to just like literally hit into the net. It was actually just like classic Haaland.
He's a talented ball striker, honestly. He's a brilliant striker, and he's been in unbelievable form, just like the other big 2 forwards, across in different leagues. But you've got Haaland also turned creator, which I have noticed is a part of his game has gotten a lot better, looking for his teammates and playing them in. Really simple but well executed through ball. Played in Tierney Rangers. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that recently transferred him out of their FPL teams. And finally, we see season 1, episode 2. Just go a bit of a throwback to his tweet after his debut. Months later, we see season 1, episode 2. And Rangers, it was a good finish from him. Really, he's actually a really talented midfielder. I know he's not got the GNA in recent games, but definitely a good City signing. He's definitely going to be one of the players that helps get them through their slump. And chipped the ball over Leno for 2-0. Then Phil Foden just getting in on the act. Coden a beauty outside the box. 5 goals in his last 5 starts for Manchester City as well. He's getting back into form now.
Exactly. It's good to see as well, because I think once he gets that England call up as well, and he gets back into rotation of that, I feel like
For sure. He definitely has been kind of forgotten amongst the English setup. I think people are so... I think the Euros left a terrible taste in people's mouths. And, you know, they're just thinking like, oh, you know, if we go into another tournament, I don't want to see us trying to figure out how to use Foden just for the sake of it. And I can understand that. Also, guys like Saka, Palmer, Bellingham, even growing their profiles even more since the previous Euros are really establishing themselves as top players. You know, Phil Foden is not far away from that, but he's getting back into the form we saw as a Premier League player of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a couple of years ago. And then, you know, probably everyone would have thought, okay, easy Manchester City win, but Smith Rowe, a wild diving header.
Yeah.
You know, as an Arsenal fan, that must have put a smile on your face seeing that. It was a really impressive header into the far corner just before half time. And even then, you probably think Fulham have no chance. But then Doku having a shot just around the hour mark. I don't know how this looped over Leno, but it was so unlucky. But I just think it was just one of those ones where I can't believe that ended up being the goal that won the game. But that was the difference. And that was a goal to make it 5-1. And then after that, it was just all Fulham.
Yeah.
You know, Haaland hitting the post again, but from a close range again, but with a header. Chukwueze getting his first from goal. Powerful first time
great shot.
Like hit from in and around the box. And then if that wasn't good, he just basically copy and pasted it from the other side of the game. No, brilliant first time, half volley, I think this time. And then it flew past Donnarumma into the far corner all over again. And just thinking, okay, this is quite weird. And then, you know, somehow, some way, they've managed to do that. Then from there, they did manage to just get one more and then make it 5-4. And then Josh King with that 96-minute chance. Oh, I think it was 98th minute chance. Played through right in front of Donnarumma, flicks it over him. I don't think it literally touched the goal line, but just about Gavadio there in time to just clear it out just before it got anywhere quite near it.
Yeah.
And there's something about Man City and goal line clearances, man. And it always rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
They somehow always manage to do it.
I got flashbacks to the Etihad last year when you played them as well. Yes. But yeah, see at the death, like I don't know, they just unlock a different sort of fire, and I think I have to respect it to them. I think Pep's, you know, built a team of monsters for sure. Fulham are unlucky is for sure, but again, another former Arsenal way will be as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that shot. Was that the best goal of Fulham's goals or not? Because they did have some quality ones, 4 quality goals really.
I think, yeah. To be fair, all of them were actually quality if you look at. But yeah, I would say it will be. It kind of reminded me of in a similar way. You know, the Europa League final in 2019 in Baku when he faced Chelsea and he just like lashed that ball and it went in. And it was like, I think he just made it 3-1. But it was like in my head, I was thinking, like, come on, it's still in this. We definitely went in there. But it was just like, you know, I think he's definitely got something in his locker. And I feel like Fulham has definitely been his growing ground for him to like develop. And I think, good on him to actually get on the score sheet. But yeah, I think it was unlucky. But you know, Fulham, I think to get 4 goals against, you know, Man City, I think it's very promising. I think they shouldn't really look down on themselves. I feel like they did the best they could. Obviously, even to the death, it's a goal line clearance, but I think they should definitely pat themselves on the back. Yeah, very good performance.
Indeed, definitely for Fulham. I feel like their fans should definitely be happy. Well, not even. I mean, you can only be so happy when you lose, but they should definitely be proud to an extent, for sure. With Manchester City, though, what's going on with their defense? They've now conceded like 6 goals in their last 2 Premier League games, and not even to teams that will have elite attacks. You know, with all due respect.
Exactly.
So you know, and teams are just, and then before that, even losing 2-0 to Leverkusen, and I think they lost the previous Premier League game before that. So they're in really iffy form because they took Liverpool apart just before the international break. But then since the international break, they've been a bit here and there so far.
It's been a bit leaky at the back. I'm not sure what's actually happened. I don't know if Pep's maybe changed something around because obviously with a bit of a slow start of the season, I'm sure you tried to rotate some things around. But like even at the Leverkusen game, it's almost like they looked like they weren't even all there.
Yeah. Like, they didn't look like they were playing at home.
Exactly, literally. I don't know, because if it's a case of so many fixtures in a week, a lot of people just drop off. And I guess that's another point I guess I want to touch on later, because I remember seeing an interview with Arteta. But yeah, it was just, I think they're great at going up, but for some reason going back, it's not exactly the same. But they can attack to make up for the lack of defense. So I guess it's keeping them afloat.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I would associate with a Pep Guardiola side. I do think he likes to have defensive discipline usually.
I think I don't know if Arteta's absorbed the defensive kind of abilities from City, because when I look at Arsenal, when you look defensively, I'm like, wow. I used to look at City like that and be like, we can't break through, we can't get anywhere.
Exactly.
Like I remember that clip against, I think it was against Bayern. It was just a clip I saw, and it was just like I think it was like it was a low block. We were playing a low block, and then it was just the Bayern players trying to cut through. But it was just like the amount of bodies you had behind the ball. It was actually insane. It was like a sea of red. And I was like, this is beautiful. We've come a long way from like Mustafi and Socrates and all these guys.
He's always a poster boy for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's so true.
If you're watching Mustafi, I hate you. But I do appreciate you trying to play for Arsenal, but you have brought me so much stress in my lifetime. But it's okay. It's okay.
Mustafi, man. Forgive us, man. But just moving on to Abs's favourite team. He probably wasn't feeling like they were a favourite team of his the other day. But Leeds won. No. Leeds 3, Chelsea won, actually. Oh, my word. Leeds, who had 4 straight losses going into this game.
Exactly.
Oh, my word. I can see, like, you hardly contain yourself. This performance was by far Chelsea's worst performance of the season. And they've been pretty consistently good without their best player, Cole Palmer. But he didn't start in this one anyway. But he is now finally returned to Premier League action in this game. But, wow, Chelsea, what was that lineup, man?
I really don't know what Maresca was going for, especially when you're playing away from home, newly promoted side, pretty much first experience playing them. I don't know. It felt like they said it's probably starting a Carabao Cup game or like a League Cup game for some reason. Because fair enough, I don't know why. I don't know what Tosin wrote into the start. Really and truly, I actually genuinely don't know. And then Andre Santos as well and Gittins. It was very I mean, these are players that especially Gittins. They were signed for good money. Like decent like amount of money, so sure enough they should warrant the start. But I don't know. It was a lot of rotations, but it just didn't work out, and it's a shame. I was actually seeing this as I watched the match. Chelsea have a really good black kit. Like, I think it's their away kit. I don't know if it's their third kit.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. It's such a shame they played so terrible in it.
That's actually so funny because I made that same comment watching that as well. That's actually mad. It's true. It's a real nice kit, actually. I gotta give them credit for that one. But one thing I did notice with Leeds there was obviously they did take a surprise lead. It was just a header from a BO from a corner. I think it just went near post, and I think Chelsea just were fully flat-footed. They weren't prepared for that header coming in from there. But then the second strike from Tanaka. Whoa. Wow. And he missed it. I mean, not a great chance, but an okay chance a little bit before that from range. And he made up for it almost immediately. Just got another one, swept it from distance past Robert Sanchez, that bomb goal. What a goal from him. Quality.
That was speechless, literally, when I saw it. But yeah, I think at that point it was just like, you could tell it was Leeds' game and it was in their hands, really. I think Chelsea really had no... until obviously the second half when they made the changes, but it looked like they were out of it. If Leeds really wanted to, they could have been 3-0 up first half. But I think, obviously, coming into the league as a new team, I think there was still some sort of they were still reserved in terms of their playing style, but you could tell they knew Chelsea were on the back foot and they took advantage of that.
No lie whatsoever. And I would say for Chelsea, obviously, they did manage to pull a goal back. Neto got subbed on in around half time. I think 5 minutes within that. Just, there. And that's actually a lot of times where he does start for Chelsea simply because he just gets the GNA. You can see a lot of people are clamoring for Esteval to start.
Yeah.
And Esteval, in my opinion, probably should be a starter, but, it is showing like there's a reason why he's being kept out of the team at times because Pedro Neto gets a goal.
Yeah.
But that was not to be enough for Chelsea. Leeds United ended up getting a ridiculous goal. And this one was the one I was dying to talk about.
Yeah.
Because what was Tosin thinking, man? Honestly, just right from I can't blame Santos for it, but unfortunately he's involved. Like right from when he had the ball, just passing it back to Tosin, because you're both already so far back to your own defensive line, and then Tosin there, and then Tosin's reaction after just giving the ball away.
He just gave up. It just didn't make sense to me. Like I remember I tweeted because I have a mutual that's a Chelsea fan, and I think I was just tweeting my praises about Timber, Hincapié, Mosquera, Calafiori, and he was like, it must be nice. I was like, you know what? It's not too late for Tosin to try Euro basketball. I think so. He's 6'5". He could be like a shooting guard, he's small forward even if he wanted to. But I don't think football's for him. No, at least not as, I don't know. Because that was probably one of the worst defensive mistakes ever. Like, if I was a Chelsea fan...
Wow.
Man. There was actually...
Mustafi levels.
And it's funny, but genuinely. Wow. And people were giving Chalobah stick. Chalobah... I don't think Chalobah was at fault for most of the actual errors that they pinned on him.
A lot of Chelsea fans love to Chalobah, but then also I feel like there's a fraction that really do support and have his back as well.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Yeah, it's quite a mixture of like he does divide opinion a bit, Chalobah, but Tosin seems to be one that everyone's kind of on board.
Yeah,
like
he's done.
Yeah, but they need experience. It's funny because they need experience in their team, but he just plays so much worse than everybody else.
It's strange, like
and you need like a really, not even to be. Cause I don't even mean to be disrespectful, but you need like a really quality, competent CB next to him to help offset some of those errors.
Exactly.
But if you don't have that right next to him, like no disrespect, but you're playing Badiashile who barely plays. Like you're just asking for trouble there.
Yeah. To be fair, for most of the times Chalobah was given a stick, I'm pretty sure Tosin was right next to him, and I feel like he was at fault for most of them. Even with like what happened to Robbie against Sunderland as well. Yeah, Tosin's always at the scene of the crime, But I don't know how he wore into the start after, But that's Maresca, I guess, for you.
Hey man, Chelsea does. And of all the people as well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin to get this type in goal. I'd be fuming. Obviously, I'm a poor fan, but I'd be fuming if DCL got a goal against my team. And that was a goal. Easiest goal of his career.
Yeah.
But now moving on to a team that I'm sure you would love to be talking about. I'm keen to get an idea of what you thought of this game, because on paper it's a good result, but I just wanted to get your impression, because Brentford are a team that have been playing well, but they lost 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And Brentford noticeably they had key players. Probably the spine of their team was missing.
Yeah.
Damsgaard didn't start. Henderson wasn't starting. Igor Thiago's been in unreal form. Already in double digits in the Premier League. Did not start. Collins also didn't start. So Brentford not playing with the absolute best team, but then Arsenal unbeaten in 17 games before this match. You're playing at home. This was always a game you needed to win regardless. Sure. And you guys did take care of business. But what did you make of it?
Yeah. It's funny you say that as well. Like they missed our key players. We funnily enough did the same as well. I remember seeing the lineup and thinking, wow, this honestly feels like a lineup I'd see if we were playing in another competition. We had obviously Gabriel and Saliba out, but then we had White start, and I've always sung Ben White's praises. Honestly, he's probably one of my favorite Arsenal players.
He had a good game.
Oh mate, it's funny because literally within 20 minutes, I remember tweeting "Man of the Match performance loading." And there you go. He's such a rock. He's honestly amazing, and I think he deserves more of his playing time. But yeah, like I remember seeing the lineup and thinking, this is different. Normally I'd be scared, but it's like I feel like the players that are on paper there can pull out a result. And I was very satisfied. Obviously Marino scored within 5-7 minutes. I don't know if I got that right, or a bit longer maybe. I think 10 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. I think. Yeah,
but it's like
header, really good cross.
Marino, I don't know. It's just like it's so funny because he has the marking, such a great striker. Like he's just such a set piece beast. Like the ball's in the air, is coming towards him. I feel safe. I know he's gonna score.
Why do you think rival fans just don't want to give this guy credit? Because I think a lot of people act like him playing striker is this kind of gimmick.
Yeah,
but he's been in really good form, goal scoring form for Spain in their World Cup qualifying as well.
Exactly. He doesn't even play striker for Spain either. No. So it's the fact that he just knows where to be in the box. He just knows how to get in his positions. Off the ball, he's actually amazing. I think that's a lot of people don't give him credit for. They try to see him on the ball. He might not be the most agile. Maybe when he's doing a turn, he's trying to make a pass, but I feel like he does everything else correctly. Like even like the pass to Saka at the end, like for his goal, it's just insane. Like he has such great vision, and I think even like his passing is something that's very underrated for Marino as well. Like I'm not gonna act like I've been his fan all the time, like the whole season, because there's times where even against Liverpool at Anfield, I feel like he was a bit shaky, and I was like, I think he needs to come off, but I don't think it's a gimmick. I think he has a number 9 in his like system. I don't know how. Like there are times I think, why wasn't he there instead of Giroud like back then, all those years ago? Like, because he was in the league at that point as well for Newcastle, I think.
Yeah,
around that time too. So, but no, honestly, he's been amazing, and I think he deserves all his praises for sure. But great performance. Madueke had a great cameo as well. I think he was, not even cameo, but like the first half, I think was great. So obviously
involved in a lot of good things for sure.
Yeah.
Really good link-up play, setting up that as you just said, the link-up play for the goal as well. That was really nice technical ability.
Exactly.
Little small things like that. He looked super confident.
Had a chance on goal as well. It was a good save as well. But I think he's been not earning. I think that's the wrong word. But I feel like he's definitely I think he's definitely earned his place to start. I feel like he can start a few games if we need to give Saka a rest. I feel like why not? Because I feel like he deserves to start. I think he's been incredible so far. Obviously, I feel like everyone talks about end product and whatnot, but I feel like he does enough when he's not scoring to benefit the team too. So that's all I want in a player. I think anyone for their team to support, they want someone to contribute at least something towards a win or to a goal, even if it's not necessarily putting a goal or assist on paper. And I think Madueke is great at that. But yeah, no, great game. That.
And just lastly, before we move on, Declan Rice injury. He's been absolutely pivotal to you guys yet again this season. I have seen from the media, it looks like Arteta's and Declan Rice have played down the extent of the injury. So there's a chance he even plays in the next game this weekend as well. What are you thinking? Expecting him to play or be rested?
I actually saw a tweet, I think Fabrizio, but it was calling Arteta, and he said, I think Rice will be available to play. He says like he couldn't play, but he could still walk and run fine without any pain. I feel like he just needed to rest. But he, I think he said he's going to be available to play. He probably might not start. Probably might come on maybe if it gets a bit too severe. Probably when they train tomorrow, they'll probably see how they feel. But yeah, I think he probably will play. I wouldn't see him not playing because it wasn't like a case of him limping off or like having to be carried off, which is always like a good sign. But yeah, I'm just worried about Mascara as well because he was our backup, and I don't know if Saliba's ready to come back for Saturday. I remember seeing his reaction on the bench. He was like shaking his head when he saw Mascara down. He was thinking, I'm not ready. But I guess, Timber, obviously we've got that centre back option. We still have Calafiori, we still have MLS as well. So we still have defensive options there as well. So like I said, I feel like we prepared ourselves for this situation compared to like a few seasons ago when someone would go down. It'd be like, it wouldn't be like for like at all. It'd be like a huge blow.
And I feel like people were criticizing that at the time. People were like, another centre back. No, another centre back.
Genuinely, it blew my mind because it's like because Gabriel Saliba, they pretty much are standard. They're gonna be one of the two is gonna be injured. It's guaranteed. It's always gonna happen. If we don't have the bodies to back it, now you're going to be complaining to Arteta like, why don't we have the players to do so?
Yeah, same
issue goes and makes us, the transfers is like another centre back, But I feel like we've actually I think we've upgraded all the areas necessary. Like I feel like the wingers, I know Eze's not naturally a winger, but I feel like if we need him on the left, we've got him as well.
Yeah.
On the right, we've got Madueke. We got Zubimendi. Oh my God, Zubimendi. What? He's another anchor as well in that midfield as well. He's been brilliant these past few games as well. But yeah, I feel like we've upgraded or at least added to the areas that we needed to sufficiently. So I feel like we've achieved the goals we set, Arteta set for the team, years ago for the project. And I think, it's definitely going steadily. But I think, I'm confident that I think Rice will be back. Mascara as well, he said he could have continued. I don't know, he couldn't. Yeah, I think maybe he might need to just rest up. But again, all these fixtures in the space of days, it's probably bound to happen. I think it's part of a bigger issue, to be fair. I know I was blaming the medical staff. I tweeted out the medical staff, but I think it's definitely more than that. It's definitely like the PR. I think they definitely need to have a look at the fixtures and the timetables.
For sure. I'm actually definitely on board with you on that. I want no lie whatsoever. We also had another one, an interesting game. Maybe I'll give you one of the better games. Newcastle 2, Spurs 2.
Yeah.
This was a feisty one.
Yeah.
Spurs usually have a terrible record going to St. James's Park. They've been clapped a couple of times in the last few years. But this one, interesting one. Spurs were winless in the previous 4 Premier League games. Their away form was actually amongst the best in the league. I think even the best in the league just a couple of weeks ago was probably been a bit shaky, but Newcastle were chasing a 3rd win in a row. They've had shaky from themselves this season.
Yeah,
trying to get a roll going
since West Ham, I would say.
Since West Ham, and they did their thing actually. Really, you had Joe Linton hitting the far post, really strange low shot, difficult angle. Someone managed to hit the far post. I was so surprised he got that anywhere near goal about half an hour in.
Yeah.
Then Danso trying to clear. Actually, he did manage to clear Walter Mudd's header just before he reached the goal line. So Newcastle again were pressing, and then eventually, I think it was probably goalless in the first half. But then second half was just things were kicking off. Bruno Guimaraes, I think, was subbed on, curled in a beautiful goal, far corner. Obviously he's hit them with his usual celebration, which is going to be very important for context-wise later.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the Brazilian versus Argentinian beef, but I don't know what the issue was or if they've had an issue before when they've played against each other. But Romero was just on smoke when it came to Bruno.
Yeah. It probably is South American. I think when they played in the past, there's definitely been a lot of rough tackles and definitely I think it was like a Copa Libertadores game. I probably butchered that pronunciation. But I remember I was watching it because I actually put a cheeky bet on. Don't bet. We're not promoting betting. But I put on a bet on that game, and I remember watching the game, and I think it was Enzo and I think it was Bruno. They went they had they went for 50-50. It was very violent. They actually started a bit of a chatting match after. And I was thinking, wow, okay. And I guess it makes sense because they're probably two of the better teams in South America, I'd say. So I guess naturally that comes with a feisty rivalry.
But to be fair, Argentina and Brazil just have a really feisty rivalry with each other.
Maradona,
anyway.
Pele.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just even deeper than that. It's just like it's like a proper, like, you know, you get lots of international derbies per se, countries next to each other, but these two teams, like, the fan bases, they're always so heated. Like, it gets kind of disgusting, if I'm being really honest. Like, you know, it'll get really, really personal. I don't know outside of football, but obviously football's so big in both countries, you know. There's this proper rivalry there, honestly, Like, you know, so I would say, Romero and Bruno Guimaraes, interesting one, those two going at it, but then it was a really good acrobatic sort of low header to equalize from Romero. You know, he was back from his own yellow card accumulation suspension as well. Then Newcastle gave a interesting penalty call. Spurs fans have been losing their minds about it online. A number of even neutrals have been saying never a penalty, but he gave a controversial penalty where Bentancur had held on to Dan Burn for a corner. I think it was agreed to have been, I think it was decided that he was holding on to the shirt for too long, brought him down, so they gave the penalty. And this was about 86 minutes. Anthony Gordon scored that penalty as well. And Spurs players, you can see, they were fuming about that penalty. But if that was not enough drama, 10 minutes after Gordon has scored his penalty, or even 9 minutes after, Romero, a 95th minute bicycle kick. Cleanly taken as well to equalize. And then he hits that celebration on Bruno Guimaraes, his head again. See that guy's again. He hit that celebration twice, actually. I was like, wow, okay. Fair play. I mean...
That's one of my favorite things, like the S-housery in terms of like mocking each other's celebrations. I love it. I love a little honestly. give it and get it back. But I have to say, I don't know. I've seen mixed opinions about this, but Ramsdale, could he be doing better there? Because seeing Ramsdale for my team for 2 years, there seems like a Ramsdale goal to concede as well. Like I think that interview with Ian Wright did him no favors when he was like, I can't concentrate for 45 minutes, 90 minutes in the game. I might do it 1/2. And it's just like, evidently, like that was like the most. I know you said it's acrobatic, of course, to get to that motion, but like the way the ball rolled in,
it wasn't like the Ronaldo Juve one. You know what I mean? Like,
far from it.
You know what I mean? Like, good technique from Romero, but I think again, it shouldn't have been that hard to save.
Because I think Ramsdale, most keepers act on instinct. I think he thinks first and then acts. That's why I feel like when I look at Ramsdale, and I feel like it's unfortunate. Like he's such a good guy as well. I don't want to hate on him, but. Yeah, it's just hard, man. You can't really have him between the sticks, man.
I hear it, man. And then the last Big Six midweek game that we're going to cover, Liverpool 1, Sunderland 1. This was one where definitely big talking points before the game. Salah started for the bench for the second straight Premier League game. As I mentioned, never happened before in his Liverpool career. And Liverpool finally winning a game of football on the weekend. Have this one at home against Anfield, but as has been the case quite recently, Liverpool's home record has actually been abysmal in the most maybe last 6 or 7 games. And it's just been crazy because, and it looked like something we're going to add to the misery. You know, I thought, you know, they took the lead in this game. It was a goalless first half, not much going on. I mean, I think Alisson did an outrageous long range attempt, I remember, from Trey Hume in the first half, and then Wirtz did have an early chance himself, squeezed the ball through the keeper's legs, but went off target. McAllister header just bouncing off the post, I think, before half-time. So that was probably the closest any team had gone to scoring. But Alderete header also hit near post from Sunderland corner as well. So, both teams were testing each other. But I just felt like Sunderland were going to score at some point, and they did. And, it was like Talby, long range shot, flicked off Van Dijk and in the far bottom corner. And there was no way Alisson could reach it. He was already diving, like Superman diving, and he just had no chance. I was just like, man. And unfortunately, those strange goals where I feel like it's just too much of a familiar feeling for me, where I see a goal Liverpool concede, I'm like, why can't it just be a normal goal? Why is it always some abnormal, strange, or some unbelievably well taken goal?
Like,
honestly, and I give Sunderland credit because this is a promoted team and they have been great this season. But wow, they really took the game. And the manager, Lebris, said it himself in the post-match presser. Like, we were all kind of just surprised we had this much time and space to play. And I was like, mate, I'm glad somebody said it out loud because this team does not press. This team doesn't press.
It's weird because that was Liverpool's DNA. Like,
it was.
Pretty much, like, I don't know. Yeah, because I remember the tweets and it was like, I had the Liverpool press was so hard to open my window. I don't know if you remember seeing that tweet, but it was literally your thing. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. They, like, any team that comes to you, for some reason, I feel like they just have the space and time to do what they need.
Honestly, yeah, midfield gets overrun quite easy if I'm being honest. But I do have to give Curtis Jones a bit of credit where he managed to collect the ball deep up, just progressed with the ball so well. That's one of his strengths. Got the ball to Florian Wirtz, and Wirtz, something's clicked in him since he's come back from his injury. That's really good feet. Not once, not twice, maybe even third time before he just gets a shot. Probably going off target to an extent. I know some people are saying that's the case, but I don't think it was that. To me, it doesn't look like it was off target. But definitely takes a massive deflection off Mukiele, who, luckily just for me, I benched him for once. But we'll get into that part later. But finally, I benched him when something bad happens. Went off Mukiele, and that made it unsavable for the keeper, to be fair. And that was a equaliser for Liverpool in the last 10 minutes of the game. But Sunderland almost won it in stoppage time. Counter-attack from a Liverpool corner. Isidore played through, but something from a player who I've got so much liking for, despite the fact I don't get to watch him play much because my manager is not a fan of him or whatever. Whatever justification wants to give, I never believe it. But Chiesa, really tenacious run, tracking back. Obviously, had the legs to do it, tracking back to get there to Isidore. I'm no doubt put Isidore off his shot a little bit. But Isidore, to be fair, at Anfield, he knows he's running with the ball, knowing this chance can win the game. He did well to get round Alisson, and he did get his shot underneath him on target, but it was a weak shot. And Chiesa already standing in the right place. It wasn't a difficult one for him to make, but only because he made that block. Only because right there, that would have been the winner for Sunderland, and that would have been more heartbreak and frustration, like a last minute winner again going against us. Honestly. And there's not much else to talk about that game other than the fact that Sunderland didn't deserve to lose. I didn't think Liverpool deserved to win either. Maybe a draw in some respects, you could say, on the balance of play, but not much else going on. And to be honest, we do need to get through the other games, so I won't speak too much about them. Yay. The big one, though, out of the rest of the teams outside the big six, though, Brighton 3, Aston Villa 4.
This was a great game.
What a game. What a game. And it was a really funny one because Brighton going into this game unbeaten at home for their previous 10 games. But Villa now just broken that streak. Now that they finally found where the back of the net is, they've been doing it quite regularly now. Terrible error. Actually initially allowed Brighton to get the opening goal. Ball just flew right through Bissell's hands. Hecke, I think it's Van Hecke just getting a header. Actually, not even a header, just kind of bundling the ball over the line. And then a deflected Hinshelwood shot, just this time not really Bissell's fault at all. I know it makes him look silly, but there's not much he could have done about it. Deflection takes it right past him, wrong foots him. Brighton raced into a 2-0 lead. But then Watkins showed up. Before half time there, he had a brilliant, well, actually not brilliant, just a good centre forward play, getting to the end of a low cross just before half time mark. And then just really before the half time mark, great counter attack, brilliant ball. What a ball! What a ball!
I'm glad I put my team. I knew you had something for me for sure. But what a ball!
What a ball! But then Watkins to take it down and then the finish like that. I was like, that's more like it, Watkins, man.
That's a classic Watkins finish right there.
He literally doubled his tally for the season, I think, and just that little sequence there.
Really?
Yeah, just that 3-minute sequence.
Wow. Yeah,
goes to show, man. Like, honestly, he's had a tough year, but when he's obviously World Cup year, man. Like when he gets he's such a useful, competent striker
for sure.
And honestly, and all of a sudden leveled it, and then Villa completed the comeback corner of their own this time. Amadou Onana,
great,
getting the 3-2-1, and then a really strange one where Dolian Marlon, I think his first touch off the bench, managed to get into a good position from across, put Villa through, and then just like that, Brighton just getting absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, it was strange. It was almost like once the goals came in, they just kind of lost confidence because there was a lot of the channels at the back were getting open, especially like towards the towards the fullbacks. I think Villa were able to just kind of run through and kind of like put more pressure on them eventually, and I think well on the win for Villa for sure. They honestly fought 2-0 for that.
And then there was still the one last chance as well. Even though Van Hecke did manage to score a great first time shot from the edge of the box. Some really quality goals in this game. But then in stoppage time, Biz had an unreal reaction save to deny Danny Welbeck in stoppage time. Managing to just readjust himself and tip it over the bar from close range. Really, really good game. Probably one of the better games that you could have watched unfold in the midweek. And then you had Crystal Palace taking care of Burnley away from home. They've been in decent form for most of the season. Burnley had already before this game, they've won 2 home games, which is the same amount they'd won for the entirety of the last time they were in the Premier League, 2023-24. So their home form was not good, but as far as going against history, it was like you could just guess now whether Burnley will win a home game or not. But in the Championship, they had unreal form at home. And right now they've got the Premier's lowest I think they're the Premier League's lowest home scorers, and even their top scorer Fleming, he's not even scored a goal at home. So there's something going on at Turf Moor where scoring goals is really difficult for them, and it ended up being the case again. Crystal Palace keeping a clean sheet. You know, a wonderful Gehi in-swing cross into Daniel Munez for that header. Really brilliant play. And yeah, just yet again, you know, as much as Crystal Palace have talent everywhere, you know, midfield, forwards, but their defense is really something else.
Solid.
These guys are they always contribute to every result that Crystal Palace get.
Yeah.
And they did manage to keep holding on. Dubravka made some decent saves, saved a couple close range shots from Mateta in this game as well. And then Brun Larsen having a shot crashing off the bar for Burnley. That one very nearly went in. Was helped on, I think, by a slight fingertip save by Henderson as well. And then Richards' goal line clearance denied Burnley an equaliser on stoppage time. Yet another goal line clearance in this midweek one. Henderson, I think he mispunched across, so it just ended up still going off into the box. But it was bouncing towards goal, but Richards managed to get off. And yeah, interesting one. Munoz, I think, more goals than any defender since the start of last season. Yeah. About 7 goals. He's been such a really good signing.
He's actually taken over Gabriel, I think.
Honestly, just like that.
Surprisingly, yeah. But no, Munoz, I think he's probably had one of his best seasons this year for sure.
Honestly.
Like, he's such a threat going up or coming back as well. Like, yeah, I think he's probably one of the more complete fullbacks you've seen in the league for sure.
His profile has definitely raised this year. And we've also got another 1-0 scoreline for the away team. The worst team in the league losing to Nottingham Forest, who were once this season the worst team in the league themselves. Yeah. Wolves 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Wolves actually went into this game winless in the Premier League so far this season. So, you know, 7 defeats in the last 7 games. That's now 8 in the last 8.
Yeah.
You know, Igor Jesus had a goal ruled out after, I think his referee went to pitch side monitor and a judge that actually Ondoy was offside blocking the goalkeeper. And yet again, another weird call with referees again on this. You know, this whole players being offside position. I don't think that was something that should have impeded his ability to save the ball.
Exactly.
Honestly, these calls, I'm just not a fan of these calls being made. Honestly, I'm really not.
It's just counterproductive to the idea of corners anyways, you know. It's kind of that whole idea of like, yes, in offside position blocking the keeper. It just, no. I mean, neither. I think we're talking about, I think, with the Everton game a few weeks back.
Yeah.
I'm happy with them. Against Liverpool with Robertson, sorry. I think
that was I think the first high profile one.
Yeah.
And then there was a similar one. Forest actually had, I think, not given in their favour against Liverpool at Anfield as well. And if I'm being honest, that was a goal that should have stood. Yeah. I just think all of these goals should have stood.
Yeah,
but, you know, really strange decision, man.
Very nitpicky, but yeah.
Honestly. And in the end, Nottingham Forest did manage to get their goal. Nico Williams, I think he had a really good free kick saved by Johnstone, and then Arias also missed a decent chance for Wolves as well. But I think at some point Igor Jesus did get his goal, scored a header from an Amari Hutchinson delivery on the wing, and that was his first Premier League goal for Forest. And basically a game of very few chances, and things have not improved for Wolves since they've hired local rivals Middlesbrough's coach Rob Edwards, formerly of Luton Town as well. 3 games he's now coached. They haven't scored a goal and they've lost all of them. Yeah,
it's pretty tragic for Wolves. I think, it's just not. I don't see them not getting relegated unless a miracle happens. But I think they're only on 5 points or like a really low tally of points. I forgot. I remember looking and thinking, wow.
I think it's even less than 5 points actually. I'm not even joking. And
probably might be 2, maybe 2 draws, maybe. 2. Yeah, and Jesus Christ.
And to be honest, man, it's insane because I gotta say, with Wolves, I think actually, from what I've actually been seeing from Wolves media, from Wolves fans, is they've already accepted relegation. They've actually, it's, how crazy it is. December's just arrived and the team's already team's fan base, like literally go on their Instagram comments, it's doom and gloom. I'm like, wow, I thought I'm suffering watching Liverpool. These guys are really going through it. Yeah, you know, it's stuff like that put stuff into perspective for you.
For sure.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting with Wolves because some people might be like, oh, let's invest in January and save our season, but in reality, the ownership is probably thinking, we're going down, so we need to try and, probably even blood in youngsters that you're probably thinking to field in the Championship next season and stuff like that,
honestly.
So it's a really interesting one for Wolves, the direction they've gone in the last few years post Nuno Santos. But the last midweek one, Bournemouth and Everton, just another quick one. Yet again, another away team winning 1-0. Jack Grealish getting a goal. Big deflection of Diakite for this one, but it made it relatively impossible for the Bournemouth keeper to actually stop. And decent saves from Pickford in this game as well. Gini Kirby had the close range goal, also ruled offside before halftime as well. Bournemouth went into this game unbeaten in the last 7 Premier League home games, but that was their longest ever run in the Premier League era as well.
Okay.
But it's come to a halt now. Everton,
great form. Everton,
obviously, they've really put in some big performances recently, and fair play to them. They managed to get that win.
Yeah,
and we'll just have a brief look at some of the Big Six games from the weekend as well. We had Man City 3-2 against Leeds. Couple Foden goals.
Yeah, great goals.
And then Leeds getting back into the game somehow from America and DCL. I don't know what's gone into DCL recently. Somehow getting the goal scoring touch again. But the Foden, a really nice off balance, but just well taken curling shot.
Yeah.
To win the game in stoppage time. Really
great
good goal.
Finish. It's just like what a feeling as a fan as well. Like when you need a goal, you got your star boy there. I think Foden, that was kind of like the catalyst for like his form. His return to form, I would say, for sure.
For sure. Actually, I definitely agree with you on that one. And then you had a team that we just said were causing Man City problems. They definitely caused Spurs problems the other day. Spurs yet again continued our terrible home form, losing 2-1 to Fulham. Poor defending and goalkeeping display within the first 10 minutes.
Vikari, I don't know what he was doing.
Oh my word. Tete scored within 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Then just a few minutes later, Vicario, truly, what you can't explain that. And I do feel like quite a few Spurs fans have turned on Vicario
because
of his recent performances. Yeah, he looked quite decent about a year ago, to be honest, but he's been a bit sus for a while. But wow, he's been really poor quite recently.
Yeah,
and
what finish though?
Well, honestly, Wilson, former Liverpool academy graduate.
Yeah,
he's always had a foot on him. He's got a wand of a left foot, honestly. And what a finish!
Yeah.
And then, Spurs did manage to get a goal back. It was a pretty decent effort from the hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, Fulham just had they were just a better team. They just had Spurs that whole game.
Yeah.
Had Crystal Palace losing to Manchester United, Mateta scoring a penalty, then having to retake it again because of the accidental double touch thing.
It's funny, you didn't really look at it on first glance. I mean, you can't really tell from the TV from the angle, but
even from the replay, I couldn't really tell too well.
I think it was very slight. I think it kind of just like rolled over his foot, like not enough for it to change direction, but it was like it made contact. But it was fun. I don't know how they caught that, to be fair, but yeah. But at least he scored the second one, I think. That's what matters, I guess.
Lemons actually dived the way that he took the first penalty, and then he sent him the wrong way again. I was like, fair play, Mateta.
Yeah.
Obviously, fair play to you, man. And then Xerxes, lethal shot, finally back in action for him in the Manchester United shirt from a tight angle through a crowd of players as well. Mm-hmm. Lethal shot to get United back in the game. And then Mason Mount drilling in a shot from this free kick routine. Really decently well taken, I've got to say. I think that was the first time the first or the second time Mount has now completed 90 minutes since he's moved to Man United.
Yeah, wow.
Like 2.5 years ago nearly as well.
That's impressive because it seemed like he couldn't at least play 10 minutes without having to limp off. So I guess it goes to show he's actually starting to find himself again. Yeah,
and low-key actually an impressive win for Manchester United away from home. Not something I'd associated with a lot of their performances, especially with the way they needed a bounce-back win after their performance at Everton.
Yes.
And then you've got Liverpool. Yeah, it was nice while it lasted, but we finally won a game. We finally won a game of football. Isak's first Premier League goal, really well taken goal.
Yeah.
I think first half didn't have too much going on, but I did manage to get a goal there. And then
angle as well.
Paqueta, really ridiculous second yellow. What did you think of that? He just lost his head completely. Alisson had to leave his goal to try and help his compatriot, but he just didn't want anything. He wasn't listening to anybody.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's funny because seeing Nketiah at Arsenal, he never really would be that type of player you'd associate with losing his head, at least like that. I guess it could be a combination of factors as well. Maybe still, because he's not essentially the main man at Crystal Palace, I guess, like he was at Arsenal for a certain point of time. So I guess there's a lot of things I could say could come up with that. But I guess, it definitely was silly though, for sure.
It's
just it was unnecessary.
Honestly, and then Gakpo, actually a really rather decent finish. I've been quite critical of Gakpo for being not clinical, but that goal, the way he took it in stoppage time, just wrap it up, finish the game 2-0, did well. And that was a really good game from Florian Wirtz as well. Was Premier League man of the match, I think, for the first time since he's joined Liverpool. Didn't get any GNA, had a couple good chances that he should have probably scored one of them at least.
Yeah.
But really good game from him. And if I'm being honest with this game and the Sunderland game, I'm really happy with what I've seen from Wirtz since his return to injury. But we won't make you wait any longer, Alvin. We'll finally cover the last Big Six game of that weekend. Chelsea won, Arsenal won. You guys couldn't wait for this game. Such a shame Abdul couldn't be here to talk about it. But you will have the stage. You will have the floor. I'll give it to you. Caicedo red card in the first half. Chalobah header from early on in the second half. But then you guys did get a good equaliser not too much later.
Yeah.
Marino from a low Saka cross. So yes, how did you think that game went? Because I feel like Arsenal and Chelsea fans, even after this game, cannot stop talking about it because it's just rattled both of you guys so much.
I think this was like the main showdown of the season for sure. Considering where both our teams were heading towards the game, it did feel like a loss to me because I feel like, on paper, I do feel like without bias, we are the better team. We have a better squad on paper, so I feel like we definitely could have, went there to actually take the win. And there were a lot of chances. Like Saka had so many chances. Martinelli, Rice, we had so many chances where we just couldn't finish. I guess we were just unlucky. Could be fatigue and whatnot, but. I think I was very proud of how we played as well, especially being 1-0 down as well, away to, I know they had 10 men and stuff like that as well, but it's very easy to just, sit back, and just like put bodies to players and stuff like that and just, prevent us from getting anywhere with that. So for Saka to, get that chance and Mourinho to capitalize on it was great. Obviously, Chelsea fans, you drew with us with 10 men, whoop-de-doo, whatever. But it's just like, at the end of the day, I know it's a woulda, shoulda, coulda thing, but I know if Gabby or Saliba, one of the two was starting, Chalobah doesn't score that chance. He only scores that chance because Mascara, I guess, misjudged his ability to jump and go for the ball. It's something Mascara's not really used to, I guess. It's not really his... in the Arsenal team, I would say for sure,
okay.
Like in terms of how we operate in set pieces defensively wise. But I think, Chalobah obviously took advantage of that. It was a good header, but I never, even when 1-0 down, I never thought it would end that way. I knew we were always in it. It was a shame we couldn't capitalize on it. We had a few good chances as well. I think there was a chance towards the end as well. I don't know if it was Martinelli putting a cross, and then like Gyökeres, if Gyökeres got a head to it, he probably would have scored. But Timber went for it instead. Naturally, as a defender in the box, you're gonna go and try and go for the ball anyway. But it was just unlucky. But yeah, I think it was definitely a good fun game end to end. I do wish that it was 11-on-11, just so none of the excuses could be there and stuff like that. But Casado had to come off after that. That was such a bad challenge. Like, I'm just glad Mourinho didn't get injured because it's one of those ones that cracked his ankle. I've seen so many players like Wilshere, Ramsey, Cazorla, people Ozil having to sit out after like a good few weeks and months after like a type of tackle like that. So I'm glad Mourinho was able to actually finish the game as well. But yeah, no, great London derby. I'm just looking forward to the Emirates for sure. I think that will be, I think we put all debates to bed after that for sure.
And what were the thoughts on the yellow card accumulation? Because that's what I feel like has been one of the main Arsenal fan perspective talking points. Actually, I know, if I'm being honest, I'm of the opinion both Arsenal and Chelsea fans were not a fan of the way the game was refed, for their own reasons.
Yeah, I think Anthony Taylor. I think he went for the yellows a bit too soon, a bit sooner than I guess he should have. But I guess it's derby, the emotions are high. He probably just thought, you know what, we're gonna keep this, as. I guess I don't know if he wanted to keep things going in terms of a game flow state, a game state in terms of the flow of that. But I think there were some yellows I was like, really? That? Like, it's only been 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, you're only giving a yellow for that. But I didn't really, because I think when it comes to certain games like that, I think some referees will give a yellow soon just to be like, okay, cool it down. But even if they might foul again or 2-3 times, they're not going to give a second yellow right away. They're going to give some warnings. I think some refs are like that. Some refs will give a yellow and give another one straight away. But I don't think Taylor's like that. I think it's more so, I'll give you a yellow. That's, you know where you're at now. Obviously, if you do something stupid, I'm going to send you off. But I don't think he'll give a second yellow if that same foul happened like right after again. I think it'll probably be another warning or final warning or something like that. But it's funny. I saw some fans talk about that. But for me, I wasn't too miffed about that. I was just like, it's derby day. There's going to be some yellows being thrown around.
Yeah, I do hear it. I do feel like definitely I can understand that perspective. One thing I did want to also raise is what you thought about the actual taking advantage of the one-man advantage. Do you feel like Arsenal really did that? Because I don't feel like you guys played your best football, considering you guys did have all your players. I know you have injuries, but I feel like Chelsea, compared to how they played with 10 men against United, I feel like they really learned from that. I feel like they made the right tactical adjustments, and they looked like they were up for it, even with you guys equalizing, to be honest.
They actually did have some chances as well, actually, funny enough, with 10 men, but pardon me. This is why I said I thought it feels like a loss, because if we drew with 11 men, fair enough, it just wasn't, no team was meant to get the extra 2 points. But I feel like with 10 men, and bearing in mind this happened 36 minutes in the first half.
Yeah,
so we still have the end of the rest of the first half to press them, get that in fact get the first goal in, opening goal, capitalize from there. But I feel like we made ourselves one in the second half, but it's like nothing really changed with that. Like, I feel like we're still kind of trying to find our way through, even with an extra man. So I feel like we didn't like. I don't think we played our best football that half as well. We've definitely had a lot of better halves. With facing 11 men. So you think with 10 men we'd be even better. So it was a bit of a disappointing one for sure. But I'm glad we didn't lose. I guess we still managed to equalize and come back. But I guess in hindsight it's good now because obviously Chelsea lost yesterday, so that's even better for us. But yeah, I feel like we definitely could have capitalized on that a lot better for sure.
Yes, and just now briefly, before we get to wrap up the show, we will now go into the FPL corner.
Yes.
Now that we finished the Premier League recap, and it's been quite a wild one. We're gonna do something a little bit different to usual. Going to do 2 game weeks at a time. This is the first time we've actually had to do this season. So this is game week 13 and 14. I think naturally we'll just go with game week 13 first, considering I don't know if any of us have any United or West Ham players in the team, but still, just might as well just start with 13. How did you do game week 13? You happy with your performance or not?
Yeah, game week 13 was funny because me being the tactical I am, I triple captain Haaland thinking, yeah, this is gonna be the week I'm gonna get a nice return. Only for him to not even. I don't think he got a GA that week at all.
He didn't.
Yeah, it was just funny. I should have did it with Foden apparently, but yeah. Game week 13. So any more points up for that? Yeah, so game week 13, I finished off with 43 points.
Yeah, so yeah, your team will be on the screen now.
So yeah, that week was, I'm trying to think if that was the week I forgot to make my changes. That was a week before actually. But yeah, no, It was a decent week. I think I didn't make that many changes that week. I'd say I took out Gabriel because he was injured, and I think I put in Nico Riley. But yeah, pretty decent week. I would say I was pretty happy. Obviously, this week I'm more content with in terms of points. But yeah, are we? Sorry, are we?
No, I mean, bro, you literally just say everyone did their thing for your 13. Yeah, I know 13 wasn't really a great game week. The average was like 35. Yeah. So even my own self, I wasn't too great. But what about your game week 14 performance? Did anything pick up?
To be fair,
there.
I'm just looking now. Actually, game week. It's funny because I've kept King on my bench. In the past 2 weeks, he's accumulated 7 points.
Wow.
He had 5 points last week. I had Mbemo on instead. He only got 1 point. But you know what? Konsa got me 8 points. O'Reilly got me 4. Tarkowski 3.
That's good.
Saka got me 5. Rice 4. Rogers 3. Haaland 6. Walter 7. So pretty much everyone got pretty much above average. But in game week 14, surprisingly, it was more specific individual performances that actually built up the numbers for the team. So Tarkowski got 10 points for me.
Wow.
Actually phenomenal. Konsa got 1, which is unfortunate because I know he had a chance yesterday where he kind of hit the head off. He hit the post, off a header, and there's a lot of debate about whether that was a goal or not. But no, they watch didn't go off, and on the replay, it just literally huffed the post and went across the goal, but not over the line. Saka got 6, of course, off a goal. Rogers and assist got 6, and he's my vice captain as well. Rice got 3, and I'm not liking the little yellow barrier next to him, that warning sign. Spence and O'Reilly got 0, naturally, of course. Vicario got 2, and then Voldemort got 5, and Haaland, captain, 28 points. Honestly, yeah. So 61 points overall. Got me back up to green in a few of my leagues. I'm actually number 1 in one of my leagues now. I'm back again, which is good.
It must be nice, man.
Yeah. I'm still chasing a few of my opponents as well. But the gap's looking a bit crazy. But, I'm looking forward to the second half of the year. I got a good wild card and triple captains lined up where I feel like I could get the lead back. But, yeah, that's my team. Very happy with how that turned out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You have actually been really impressive, actually, so far from when we've covered your FPL team's previous episodes. For me, I've been really wishy-washy. I'm going to have my team on the screen now. So this is game week 13. 38 points for me. Really mediocre game week, but it's just a 3 above the average. So that made me feel a little bit better about myself. But my same old issues yet again. I benched Virgil van Dijk for this game against West Ham thinking, Liverpool, I don't know why I've brought him in. I brought him in against Forest. Look at that. He's not done anything. I actually thought so sure, even with West Ham's form, they'd score. And of course, clean sheet. And it was my first bench option. 2 of my 3 defenders I played had 0 points each, and both of them played.
Wow.
So I was like, oh my gosh, Van Dijk's going to stay there as my first bench option. I did bench Van de Ven, And Tottenham, did have a
stinker,
against Fulham. So I got lucky there. And Anderson, that I had just brought in as well, got 6 points. So I was really happy with that. I think he got an assist in the game. No, not even an assist. No, he just got bonus points and DEFCON. So it was a bit of a strange one because that was a game where Forest didn't win. And then I just had Saka vice captain, 5 points. I should have captained him, really. Xhaka, 5 points. And then my whole forward line, everyone had GNA except for Haaland, who I captained. So I had Mateta with 6 points, Watermotor with 7. Haaland, I captained with 4. But I didn't use the triple captain that week. I decided against it. I don't like using it in the first half of the season, to be honest.
You get 2 though, no?
Do we?
Yeah.
I had a rumor that all the chips have been doubled, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, because no, they definitely. I don't know. I probably became a thing maybe like 3 years ago or whatnot. But you definitely get one for the first half of the season. And you get another for the second. Okay. I'm pretty sure I read that correctly.
Yeah.
But
Please let us know in the comments, guys. Yeah, about this as well, because I gotta say, because they've added a few things into FPL this year. So there's been obviously DEFCON as well, being one of them. And so there's a few things to wrap my head around. But I'm so sure I heard for recently that they would be doubling the chips, not just like having 2 wild cards. Because last season I'm very sure it was just one of everything else. I'm so sure, apart from wild cards. But yeah, I definitely have to look into that. And yeah, my game week 14. One will come on the screen right now. This was my best game week of the season, guys. I was 1 point off 90. I had an 89-point haul. And the average was 52. So this was probably my best performance by a distance.
Sure.
So, and it's crazy because really, for once, I'm looking at my bench and I have like 6 points. No, I've got like 8 points on my bench, but I'm not fussed because for the most part, I picked the guys that had to be picked. Van Dijk, I think because of DEFCON, he got 4 points against London. But the 2 guys next to him, I used my 1 free transfer to get this beast in, and he just paid off straight away.
Yeah.
I think I finally got out. The Senesi got suspended recently, so and I think it's a roll on my transfer keeping. But I was like, wait, why am I keeping Senesi when he's done nothing for me since I've had him in? So you know what? Get him out. Get Munoz in because Abdul's been eating with Munoz in his team. I was like, nah. I need to know what that feels. I need to know what that's like.
Give me some of that,
please. Munoz 14 points. Get him 14 points. Unbelievable.
You got Gehi too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gehi assisting Munoz. It's literally the dream. It's the dream.
28 points of just your 2 defenders alone.
28 points, bro. Wow. And the DEFCON and the bonus points is insane. Saka got a goal.
Yeah.
Semenyo didn't do much, but I think he got DEFCON. Yeah, he did get DEFCON, so lucky for me. And Dye didn't do much. Anderson didn't do much. Haaland, my captain this game week. Walter Mother grabbing an assist. Mateta didn't do anything in his game against was this against Wolves, right? And I thought, he's definitely going to eat, but ended up not being the case. But really, with what Haaland did and the fact that I managed to captain him, I was just so lucky. Lucky. It just goes to show, you got to believe in your cyborg striker. You know what I mean?
Cyborg strikers definitely. I feel like you rip behind his skin, you'll see like a red glowy eye, little iron plate, still plate face. Honestly, he's. I don't. You know, it's funny because like we talk about Ballon d'Or runs, we talk about the Bellets, we talk about the Yamals, but I feel like Haaland should at least be in the top 3 conversation. I think
it's pitiful.
A striker like him, we see maybe once every few years. Like genuinely, like I feel like. Someone this correct, like 111 games to get to 100 goals. That's literally average like 1 point something goals a game. Like
honestly,
it's honestly unreal. Like, and I was one of those people because it's funny because one of my friends was a Dortmund fan as well, and he was like, because obviously he was salty, of course, like he was leaving. He's like, he's not going to replicate in the league. And me, obviously being a City here, was just like, yeah, he's not going to do it in the league. Like it's a whole different league. In the Bundesliga, you know, the athleticism levels are not as, arguably as not as high stakes as the Prem.
Right.
But he literally came, got the ball rolling pretty much instantly. I was like, fair enough, man. He's just got it in him. Like,
and he's not slowed down much since his debut, really.
Literally.
Really.
Like, I remember, I don't know if it was the beginning of this season, last season, where he was like, I guess his goal tally was a bit slower than normal. I think it was like maybe like 12 goals or like something like double digits regardless, but it was like, so it's a slow season for Haaland, and it's like double figures is a slow season for Haaland. Like,
serious.
Not hitting, you're not getting past 15 is a slow season. Like, imagine that being your like caliber. But yeah, man, what a guy. I just wish, like, I know because I remember like when there were the rumors about him leaving Dortmund, and then like I think it was around the international day of him talking to Odegaard, and fans were like, maybe if Odegaard says the right things, he could be the solution to our problems. And I was thinking, man, imagine, but no, everything happens for a reason. I still got faith in Gyökeres, man. I still believe in him, man. Don't worry about it.
Fair play. Fair play. And I guess actually that was a really nice note to wrap up the podcast for this week. Hopefully, like we said, Abdul, your return.
You've been missed.
You know, it's nice. Yeah, I hope I didn't bore everybody sitting in the seat.
Definitely not.
But
hostess of the mostest. No, host of the most. Sorry.
Oh man.
Well, no.
So, honestly, so glad to be able to have done the hosting for today.
Big up.
Try to get back in the seat again sometime. Still have Abdul actually maybe enjoy one of the seats over there. So, you know, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've stayed this long, appreciate Alvin having you on again. Thanks you so much.
Likewise.
And you know, we're gonna say a saying that our boy Abs likes to say. I was actually gonna I was gonna bait you. There's a always wear protection.
Always.